Dawn waits beyond the walls. An emperor will vanish in dust. A young sultan will shape centuries. What if an iron chain, a moon's shadow, and a cannon the size of a cottage chose the fate of a 1,000-year empire? The cannon's mouth yawns like a furnace. The sea chain holds like a clenched fist. Inside, bells toll. Outside, drums answer. Between them, history pauses, then inhales. The first shock is coming on burning powder and iron. A teenage sovereign whispers a vow. Take the city or lie beneath its walls. Across the battlements, a last Basilius tightens his gauntlets. Two wills align on a single ridge of stone. Someone must break. Priests read omens. Dervishes circle in dust. A prophecy lingers. When the moon dies, so will the city's light. Above the Bosphorus, clouds swallow the rim of silver. Fear finds a language. A city wedged between two seas. Triple walls on land. A horn of water biting its side. To take it is to bridge continents. To lose it is to unmoor a world. The dice are loaded with centuries. Constantinople, once the lighthouse of Rome. Marble avenues, domes afloat on light, libraries and saints' bones. But now its markets are thin, its granaries lean, and its strength lives mostly in stone and memory. He is Constantine the 11th Palaiologos, pragmatic, austere, wearing borrowed crowns of need. With a few thousand and the old walls, he holds a civilization's last thread and knots it to a gate named for a saint. Opposite stands Mehmed, 19, a scholar of maps and verses, raised on siege lore. He inherits frontiers like unsheathed blades, and sees in the city's gilded dome an unfinished sentence of his house. Before the siege, he strangled the strait with stone. Rumeli Hisari, teeth on Europe's shore. No grain ships pass without his nod. The sea itself bends to his will. The city begins to starve by water. In Edirne's forges, the master Orban births thunder. Bronze is poured like molten dawn into molds the size of rooms. Each barrel drinks a boulder, then roars it forward. Walls that humbled empires will learn a new fear. Across the Golden Horn, Galata's Genoese watch behind neutral shutters. Below them, the sea chain sleeps across the mouth like a guardian serpent. The estuary is a safe room, until someone finds a back door. Perhaps 7,000 to 10,000 within, a mosaic of Greeks, Venetians, Genoese, and a handful of foreigners under Giustiniani. Outside, tens of thousands, Sipahes, Azops, and the Janissaries' iron discipline. Hagia Sophia's dome catches sunlight like a second sky. Within, the East argues with the West over union and salvation. Yet candles still burn, and choirs still rise. The city stands as a shrine every army cuts. At court, voices split. Halil Pasha counsels patience. Zaganos fans the flame. Mehmed weighs risk in one palm and glory in the other, as if both were coins he could spend twice. A final letter crosses no man's land. Wealth for surrender, safety for relics. Constantine's answer is iron. God entrusted this city to me. I will die in its defense. The gauntlet hits the earth with a thud. April 6th, 1453. The army unfurls across the plain, a living tapestry of colors and standards. Trenches creep forward, batteries align. The first salvos speak, and dust lifts like a startled flock. The basilica cannon exhales fire. The wall shudders. Stones leap like fish from a net. Yet firing such giants is an art of patience. Hours to cool, hours to load. Between roars, the sea sews itself together. By night, men, women, and monks haul stones and timbers, singing psalms through chattering teeth. Fires blaze in braziers as mortar is mixed, and ancient towers trade sleep for survival. At sea, Ottoman galleys probe the chain. Greek fire hisses from defenders. Oars beat, hulls scrape. A spray of burning oil turns water to flame. The horn still bares its teeth. Today. Underground, war whispers. Ottoman miners push tunnels toward foundations. Inside, a foreign engineer named Johannes Grant listens with bowls of water, then strikes back with countermines and sudden fire. A dark assault tests the northern angle. Ladders rise like teeth. Arrows hiss. A siege tower groans forward. Greek fire kisses its flanks. Timbers spit and collapse. The night spits the attackers back. Between cannonades, envoys move again. Promises of life, estates, and honor. Mehmed offers a future under his seal. Constantine nods once. If the city falls, it will be over my body. The silence after says enough. By night, ships crawl over land. Log rollers creak, oxen strain, sailors haul on greased timbers. At dawn, red sails bloom inside the Golden Horn, past the chain that never broke. The city wakes to masts where safety once lay. Cannon now ring the horn, quays become targets. A smile flickers on the Sultan's mouth. The boards grew 2 new sides. Carpenters stitch a floating bridge from hulls and planks, a wooden arm reaching toward the city's ribs. With guns on boats, angles multiply. Nowhere feels behind the shield anymore. Day after day, the great guns chew the St. Romana sector. The earth trembles, dust wreathes olive leaves. Each breach is a mouth, each repair a stitched lip. Fatigue becomes a second enemy. Inside, bread thins. Horses are slaughtered. Coins are hammered into nails. Processions wind through lanes as icons sway over bent backs. Faith tries to feed a hunger powder keeps waking. The moon goes dark, May 22nd. Whispers run like mice. The city's guardian dimmed. On the ramparts, some clench spears harder. Others look for a sign that the shadow will move on. Then a fog like a shroud rolls from the sea. Lanterns burn halos, and towers blunt to ghosts. At sunset, the veil lifts into a blood-red sky. Superstition sharpens like a drawn blade. Giustiniani, the Genoese captain, is everywhere. Plugging gaps, hauling fascines, steadying hands that shake. His armor is scored, his eyes rimmed with fire and sleepless grit. Hope wears a foreign visor. Across the Horn, Galata keeps its uneasy peace. Traders count, captains argue, and spies tally flames by night. Neutrality is a harbor until the tide changes. Everyone bets on time. Mehmed orders a towering engine, timbers stacked into a mobile cliff. As it grinds forward, defenders launch a storm of hooks and fire. The behemoth smolders, staggers, then topples in cinders and cheers. Arquebuses crackle from both lines, sparks in daylight. The siege is a laboratory. Alchemy becomes ordnance. Sulfur, saltpeter, and charcoal learn new grammar in the mouths of iron. Nights grow louder. Kettle drums roll like thunder. Muezzins and bells contest the dark. Sleep frays. Tempers spark. The wall holds, but hairline cracks creep into men's resolve. A council of storm. Zaganos urges one great blow. Halil frets over losses. Mehmed sets his jaw. 3 waves, silent janissaries at the end. Either the stone breaks or we do. May 28, the eve. In Hagia Sophia, a final liturgy braids Orthodox and Latin voices into one fragile rope. Across the plain, imams lift hands skyward as ranks bow into a sea of cloth and vow. After midnight, torches go dark. Azops rush first, wave on wave, ladders clawing mortar. Arrows knit the sky, stones bruise. Water in the ditches turns black with churn. The wall still snarls back.
Next come Anatolian troops, steadier, tighter. The breach widens a finger's breadth. The city coughs dust and prayer. Drums don't stop, neither does fear. The great guns speak one last time, throats cracked but fierce. A section gives, stone slides like surf. The ditch fills with rubble and men. There is no clean way through history's hinge. Giustiniani takes a wound, shot or shard, blood darkening his mail. Carried toward the inner gate, his absence is a hole that cannot be filled. Murmurs ripple. The shield is leaving. Janissaries step forward, silent until the cry breaks like a wave. Ladders rise, standards lean. At a northern angle, a postern, perhaps the Kirka Porta, stands ajar. Fortune is another name for timing. Constantine throws the last dice, draws sword, spurs in, and vanishes into the crush. No purple, no ceremony. Only steel, breath, and the heat of ending. An empire's calendar stops in a heartbeat. From ladders and rubble slopes, Ottomans pour in. Some defenders flee to ships, others bar church doors. The horn boils with oars and bodies. Streets become blades debate over who owns tomorrow. By midday, Mehmed rides through a broken gate. He orders the standards raised, the city claimed. Plunder is storm's tale, authority the clearing sky. A conqueror master both wins. He dismounts at Hagia Sophia, steps into echoing dusk, and prays on the marble where emperors knelt. A city changes language softly, first in whispers, then in law. The patriarchate will live under a new roof. After the storm, the city exhales, slowly. Survivors are counted, neighborhoods parceled, crafts coaxed back to life. The conqueror invites settlers, repairs aqueducts, and maps a capital from ashes and gold. Beyond the straits, Europe shivers. Trade routes twist, letters fly west warning of the Turkish thunder. Some look for help in prayer, others in caravels pointing toward unknown oceans. Istanbul is named and nursed. Topkapi rises over the Seraglio Point. Markets braid Asia to Europe under vaulted stone. Scholars arrive with books and questions. The city learns to speak empire in a new accent. The walls still stand, scarred, instructive. Every stone remembers an hour's choice. Was there a moment when a letter, a ship, a heartbeat could have tipped the scale? History leaves such doors ajar to thought. At last, the Bosphorus glints under calm sun. A youth became a monarch, an age closed and opened. Empires are riverbeds. Water moves, stones endure. Listen, the chain is gone, but the current still decides.